feel like they just transported these ladies from their old world into this new world that is like unbeknownst to them. They have no idea how to navigate in this new world. Welcome to the Makeup and Beauty Podcast, where we talk about all things makeup and beauty with a dash of fashion and pop culture. I'm your host, Cmichellestyles, and let's jump right into it. Welcome back to the bonus episode of the Makeup and Beauty Podcast. You guys, I need some feedback. I need you guys to talk to me. Give me your opinion on this show. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys feeling? I know I'm thinking and feeling a lot, and so is Twitter. So at the end of this episode, I'll be sharing some very funny stuff and just some comments in general about what people are saying about today's episode. So make sure you stay to the end to talk about that. I need some feedback. I need to know I'm not the only one out there feeling this way, because I just feel like, okay, how do I put this? This is not Sex and the City, right? This is And Just Like That. I get that. So it's different writers, different, the whole vibe is different. They can spin it however which way they spent it. But I feel like they just uprooted these characters from Sex and the City and placed them in a new universe, like a totally different universe with Black people, with all types of minorities, with just like people they've never really interacted with much before. So it's interesting to see like how diverse this cast is, and also all these topics about what's going on in the world that they're talking about. Like, it's a lot. It is a lot. And if you were feeling like me and all you wanted was to have an escape, daydream about living in New York City, walking around in your heels all day, having fabulous makeup and hair, sorry, we're kind of getting that, but with more present day. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm a bit indifferent. So again, let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling over on Instagram at Cmichellestyles or the Makeup and Beauty Podcast. Or you can send me an email at podcast@cmichellestyles.com. Okay, so let's get into these looks. Let's get into the show. I want to start by saying Ari Nicole Parker is gorgeous. Like, she's just so pretty to me, and I love the way they dress her. I love the way they style her. Like, they just do such a phenomenal job with how she looks on the show. Like, I love it. Ari and, okay, her name is Lisa on the show, Elisa Wexley. Elisa and Charlotte are pretty much going to be BFFs. So the name of this episode was Some of My Best Friends. And she comes out in this, well, the scene opens up with her in this red 80s bouffant like blazer. And at first I thought that her bottoms were a skirt, but it seems to be a trend that's coming out, which is going to be like these wide leg linen shorts. And they're super cute. And she had on this really cute red Louis Vuitton bag and Louis Vuitton sandals. And I can't find the information on her blazer, but the blazer has to be vintage. Like, it has to be vintage because there's no deets on that. But, or maybe it was made specifically for it, but it's a look. And they talk a little bit more about what she does. I think she works in TV and film. So they're kind of digging more into her profession, what she does for a living and all of that. So that was really cool. Charlotte had on this really cute white cami. It looked like Charlotte. She had a white chiffon blazer on top and a yellow belt and her yellow skirt. Like, very Charlotte, very put together, very classic. One person on this show that just really stood out to me fashion-wise was Seemas. Now, I'm going to be jumping quite a bit around on this episode because Seemas is a new character, to me at least, and she is of Indian descent, I believe. She is stunning. Beautiful hair. The way they dressed her was my favorite this episode, by far. Like, she gave me rich attitude, successful, powerful, like all of these things. And how they styled this woman. Her outfit and her hair, I just remember looking and thinking like, oh my gosh, it was like this taupe color, silk blouse and these pants and this beautiful bag, and it just looked monochrome and just perfection. it was everything. So she is Carrie's realtor. She is selling the apartment that her and Big lived in together, and she's moving back into her old spot, which will be nice to see because that is another classic thing about Sex and the City that we loved was her apartment. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she fits all her clothes in there, really. Like, where are they gonna, is she gonna put her clothes back in the oven? Or is she gonna cook now? We don't know. I need to understand what's gonna happen with these clothes, honey, because she could always send them to me and I can hold. Can I even fit it? No, child, I can't fit that. But I can fit Lisa's wardrobe, maybe. Okay, anyway. Digressing. So Seema to me was the best dressed on this episode as far as like that classic first lady type of look. But Lisa's looks, was that beautiful avant-garde artsy look. Okay, so I explained the first look. The second look that I loved was at her dinner party. And I will say the cringy part was really Charlotte trying to host a dinner party, and she didn't want to have Lisa and her husband be the only black friends because Charlotte's all about impressing people. So she felt like, oh no, we can't have like only them as the only black people there. I want her to think I'm cultured and I'm this and I'm that and I know about this and I know about that. So she's like hounding down an old friend of hers from 2 years ago that lives in her building to come to this dinner party so she can feel like she's not the only black couple there. And that woman's like, girl, bye. I told you I can't come to your dinner party. Bye. Enjoy it. I can't come. And Charlotte was just pushing and pushing and pushing. That whole scene where she's like trying to coach her husband to know about black authors and all of that was cringy. It was cringy. I made myself watch it. But again, I just don't come to, I keep calling it Sex and the City. I don't come to end just like that for that. I feel like the show is more relatable than I want it to be. Sorry, I want it to be the old Sex and the City, like I said earlier, with black people, with Latino people, with Asian people, with all types of people, Indians, Arabics, like everybody, right? But the same type of feel to it. But anyway, I am going off on a tangent, trying to stay focused on the beauty and the fashion in this one because, again, I'm still trying to adjust to this new feel of it, and I just don't know if I can. But what I can vibe with is how they dress them and their makeup and all of that. So, of course, I love Elisa's makeup. I love all of their makeup, but Seema's makeup was phenomenal. What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, the cringy scene. So Charlotte is an elitist. So she wants to hang out with the people that are top tier, rich, the people that are happening in the city. She likes being that person that knows the right people, right? She wants to be that socialite. So the Wexleys fit that bill for her. So I get it. I mean, it's on target for her. I don't think Charlotte really cares if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. I think she just cares about the status. It just so happens that this black couple has that status that she wants to befriend. And of course, they're connected and have all of these resources. So it's fitting for her character, but it was just hard to watch. But the thing that was really impressive was her art, her ability to know who these artists are as far as paintings, because Charlotte, a little history on her, if you don't know, she used to own an art gallery. So she's very hip to all of the artists. So they go to this dinner party that's full of black people. They were the only white couple. So they're showing this from two sides. They're showing it from the white perspective and the black perspective, but they really showed it from the white perspective as far as not wanting to have the black couple be the only people there of that race. But later on, we found out that Lisa felt the same way. They didn't want them to be the only white couple. So anyway, the thing that saved the scene for me was her knowing about all these black painters, and she pretty much taught me about some of these black painters. For example, she was talking about the Gordon Parks work, Carrie Mae Weems' work, Deborah Roberts, Barclay Hendricks, Derek Adams, Micheline Thomas. Like, I was like, okay, I'm learning something. Let me Google all of these people. Work, I'm sure of which I can't afford, but I can at least know who they are. See, we're getting somewhere here. So, my second favorite look of the night was definitely Lisa's dress at her dinner party and the jewelry. One thing I noticed what the stylists are doing for Lisa is they're giving her very big avant-garde pieces of jewelry, or her glasses are going to be oversized that she has. Like, she wore some oversized glasses in the first look, and I am trying to put together why. Is that because they're trying to make her be very trendy or hipsterish? Like, I don't know why, but I loved her dress. It makes me wish I could host a dinner party, right? And get all dressed up and have this whole type of thing. You know what I mean? That's what I look for Sex and the City. I want to see their place settings at their table. I want to see the makeup. Her makeup was beautiful, of course. I want to see the hair. I want to see the ensemble. I want to see how the guests dress at the party. You know, it gives me something to, you know, kind of have a reverie, right? Like, I need that from this show. And that's really all I want. Like, just give me that. Anyway, sidebar. That's why I was thinking I'm going to start watching new shows too. And I'm not a big TV person, but a friend of mine who's in a book club with me told me I have to start watching Harlem. So if you guys watch Harlem, let me know all about that. That is on Amazon Prime TV. And I keep hearing about a show called Emily in Paris. So if they give me fashion and beauty and makeup and a little drama, then fine. I'm here for it. But that's what I want. That's what I want. I eat, sleep, and breathe beauty and Jesus. So, you know, I'm just saying. All right. So, gosh, another scene that I really loved that gave me old school Sex in the City, and that was Carrie. I loved the framing of the shot too. They had the camera, of course, focused on her doors, those beautiful large oak doors to her apartment. And she opened the doors and she came out in this striped shirt, 3/4 sleeved, with a huge white, like, tulle skirt. Thank you. That's what I want. I want to see that. She's walking around New York City in pretty much a costume that people don't wear every day. But again, it gives me that old school whimsical feeling. So she's walking around. She goes to her old store to get some coffee because she blew it at her apartment. She's being stared at by people now. So that was the bit of reality. Thank you. Another clap for you. That's all I wanted. Someone's looking at her weird, like, why do you have that on, girl? And then move on. But in prior episodes, of course, they would never do, in the original Sex and the City, they would never do that. You know, she's walking around in New York in this unbelievable outfit that we know nobody wears in real life. But, or maybe you do. And if you do, I'll probably be your friend because I like stuff like that. And I was hoping, sidebar, when I lived in LA, I will see a lot of that type of stuff too. No. I'm all about seeing people express themselves through beauty and fashion. And when I do see it, I love seeing a put together person. That person that's just a little extra, walking around, their sunnies on outside, and just dressed, honey, with some heels or a good outfit. I'm like, I like you. I can hang with you because we could be fashion besties, beauty besties. Like, we could walk around just acting like this is our own Clueless or Sex in the City. And Clueless is, yes, one of my favorite movies. Can you see who I am by now? Like, this is me. I love this stuff. Anyway, moving on. Nia Wallace. Nia had this new hairstyle today, y'all, which is one of my favorites. I had this during my pregnancy. Well, I wore it during my pregnancy a lot. And it was just 2 French braids, honey. But she had these French braids down to the waistline. And I was like, okay, girl, you cute with these braids, Miss Professor. I love it. And the outfit, I couldn't really see much of it or get into it. But the outfit I could see, this was a faux pas for me. This was a misstep. This was an oversight. Who dressed Miranda in that jail suit, orange jumpsuit? It literally looked like you were dressed to go straight to jail. Like, what? And I bet you it's high fashion, and I bet you it cost thousands of dollars, but it was horrible. Like, let me rephrase. It was trash. Like, I just did not like it, and forgive me, but that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I just couldn't. But yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, that was someone's mistake. I don't know whose mistake it was, but I don't like it. So anyway, yeah. Is there anything else I have to say about this episode, fashion-wise? One last thing I wanted to mention. I think there's going to be a couple spins in this show. One is, I'm thinking that Carrie is going to start dating her producer, meaning the guy who was in the meeting with Che and Carrie. And oh my gosh, I just forgot the actor's name on the show. Him. I believe that she might start dating him if Aiden doesn't make an appearance. I think Seema and Carrie are going to be good friends. And I think Seema might like Carrie, like Carrie a little bit more than we think. So I'm kind of getting that she might be interested in her, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe Seema and Miranda will hook up. Who knows? I don't know. But they didn't show Steve this episode. I felt like this episode was really heavy on the black. So really heavy on the diversity side, right? I feel like the last episode was a bit more normal as far as what I would expect on a Sex and the City episode with a little extra diversity. But it's like every other episode, I wonder, is it going to be like one episode heavy on the diversity, the next episode, we'll chill it out, the next episode, let's give them some more, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but we can only wait and see. But let's get into some of these funny things, or just these comments that people are making over in the Twitter space, because people are funny, y'all. And their comments just, I love it. All right. So, already with their handle, Omicromber is their handle. Hi, Omicromber. I hope you're listening. Everyone is complaining about Charlotte's diversity storyline, completely forgot that it's on brand with her. It's on brand with Sex and the City in general. Yes, Charlotte doesn't have many POC as friends. Her very Charlotte thought process was to impress Lisa. That's it. Exactly. And that's what I was mentioning. Like, that's all she likes to do is to impress, and to seem like, you know, she's that girl. J. Smith Wilso writes, I'm just shocked to find out that Carrie Bradshaw's real name is Caroline Marie. I never knew that. And then they have a meme of Sarah Jessica Parker with her jaw dropped. So they also write, Charlotte really canceled Harry's doctor's appointment to go to a party, which is his colonoscopy. But they kind of had a little bit more spotlight on that than I thought. So I hope that doesn't backfire for her, meaning that he should have gone to that appointment and, you know, to find out something. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. But anyway, they brought that to the forefront a little too much. So I'm hoping that's all it was, and that's it. TJ, the podcaster, writes, well, damn, Charlotte knows more about black artists than me. Girl, I said the same thing. Like, I gotta do some research. I got to get my life, because those paintings on the wall were actually phenomenal, and it fit the decor of the home. It fit the aesthetic that Lisa has on the show, the hipster, the art, all of that. Stephen Salt, not Kennedy, writes, I would honestly adore and just like that a lot more if it was just Carrie serving looks. Carrie, yes, and Lisa. With sad music playing in the background, well, I added the Lisa part. Okay, let me start over. I would honestly adore And Just Like That a lot more if it was just Carrie serving looks with sad music playing in the background. They're wasting the other two girls. Ooh, okay. Still going to dedicate 40 minutes to watching it again next week and an additional 20 minutes moaning about it afterwards. X. Yeah, I understand you. I understand your thought process, my friend. But I would keep pretty much all of them on for their fashion. I like the diversity, buzzword, of the looks. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me on today's bonus episode of And Just Like That. If you enjoyed this episode, it would help me out a great deal if you could rate it. It's at near the bottom of my page where it's listing all of the episodes. And if you could leave a review, a lovely review, would just make my day. We are so close to Christmas, so if you just wanted to give me a gift at all, like if you cared at all, you know, I'm just saying, that would be so amazing if you could do that for me. So thank you so much in advance to everyone who's already left a review or rating, and for those that are going to in the future. I appreciate you so much. If you want to follow me over on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and Pinterest, it's all the same handle at Cmichellestyles. If you want to follow the podcast Instagram, it's the Makeup and Beauty Podcast. And last but not least, for more on beauty and fashion and all of that jazz, check me out on my website, which is Cmichellestyles.com. Everything will be listed in the show notes. And if you want to be on the list for my listserv where I send out beauty and fashion news and updates, make sure that you sign up for that too, because that's below in the show notes. Thank you again for indulging me and hearing me talk about makeup and beauty and fashion about And Just Like That. And let me know if you have any other shows that you want me to talk about, because I like to talk and I'd be glad to talk to you about that. All right. Thanks for joining me for Beauty and Community. And until next time, adios. Besos.